Have you ever noticed how the most profound truths often come to us in moments of absolute silence? Those quiet moments when we're truly honest with ourselves about who we are in our relationships. I want to share something that changed my entire perspective on what it means to be a truly supportive partner. It happened during a conversation with an elderly couple at a small cafe in the Midwest. They'd been married for over 6 decades. And what struck me wasn't just their obvious affection for each other. It was something deeper, something that made me question everything I thought I knew about relationships. The wife reached over and adjusted her husband's collar. A simple gesture, but one filled with such tenderness that it stopped me in my tracks. When I commented on it, she smiled and said something I'll never forget. Love isn't about grand gestures. It's about a million tiny choices we make every single day. That's what we're going to explore together today. Those million tiny choices that transform us from being just partners to becoming truly supportive pillars in our relationships. Because here's the truth that many of us need to hear: being supportive isn't something that just happens. It's not a trait we're born with. It's a conscious choice we make moment by moment, day after day. You see, we often enter relationships thinking we know what support means. We think it's about solving problems, giving advice, or being there during the big moments, but true support, the kind that nurtures souls and builds unshakable bonds, is something far more nuanced and profound. Let's start with a fundamental truth that might challenge your current perspective. The quality of support you provide in your relationship isn't determined by your intentions. It's determined by your awareness. Your ability to truly see, hear, and understand your partner's needs, even when they're expressed in whispers rather than words. Think about the last time your partner came to you with a problem. What was your immediate response? Did you jump straight into problem-solving mode? Did you try to fix things? Or did you take that precious moment to simply be present, to create a space where they felt truly heard and understood? The first principle of becoming a supportive partner is learning to listen with your whole being. Not just with your ears, but with your heart, your intuition, and your soul. This isn't just about staying quiet while your partner speaks. It's about creating a sacred space where they feel safe enough to share their deepest truths. When we truly listen, something magical happens. We begin to understand that support isn't about having all the answers. Sometimes the most powerful support we can offer is simply our presence, our undivided attention, and our unconditional acceptance. Every time your partner speaks to you, they're not just sharing words, they're sharing pieces of their soul. They're making themselves vulnerable, opening doors to their inner world. How we respond to these moments shapes not just our relationship, but our partner's willingness to keep opening those doors. The second principle is understanding that support is not one size fits all. What feels supportive to one person might feel suffocating to another. This is where the art of observation becomes crucial. Pay attention to how your partner responds to different forms of support. Some need verbal reassurance. Others need physical presence. Some need space to process. Others need active engagement. I remember working with a couple who were both deeply committed to supporting each other, but they kept missing the mark. The husband thought being supportive meant offering solutions to every problem his wife shared. Meanwhile, she just needed him to listen and validate her feelings. They were speaking different languages of support, each wondering why their efforts weren't being appreciated. This brings us to a crucial understanding. And being truly supportive means learning your partner's emotional language. It means paying attention to the subtle cues, the unspoken needs, the patterns that emerge in your daily interaction. Think about your own relationship right now. Are you fluent in your partner's emotional language? Do you know what makes them feel truly supported? If not, that's okay. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. The third principle of becoming a supportive partner is maintaining your own emotional well-being. You cannot pour from an empty cup. True support requires strength, and strength comes from taking care of yourself first. This isn't selfish. It's essential. Many of us make the mistake of thinking that being supportive means being available 24/7, always putting our partner's needs before our own. But this approach is like trying to light a room with a burnt-out bulb. You need to maintain your own inner light to illuminate the path for others. Here's an important question. Are you recharged? What fills your cup? Being a supportive partner means being honest about your own needs and limitations. It means having the courage to say, I need to take care of myself right now so I can be fully present for you later. The fourth principle is understanding that support extends beyond the moments of crisis. It's about the small daily actions that show your partner they're valued, respected, and cherished. It's about creating a foundation of trust and security that allows both of you to grow and evolve. Think about the simple acts of support you can incorporate into your daily routine. Maybe it's making their coffee just the way they like it. Maybe it's sending a thoughtful message during their busy workday. Maybe it's simply making eye contact and truly listening when they share their day with you. These seemingly small gestures create a tapestry of support that strengthens your relationship's foundation. They show your partner that they're not just loved during the big moments. They're cherished in all the small moments in between. The fifth principle is about growing together through challenges. Being supportive doesn't mean shielding your partner from all difficulties. Sometimes, the most supportive thing you can do is stand beside them as they face their challenges, believing in their strength even when they doubt themselves. This requires a delicate balance, knowing when to step in and when to step back. It's about being their cheerleader, their safe harbor, and sometimes their gentle truth teller. It's about having the wisdom to know which role is needed in any given moment. Every challenge your relationship faces is an opportunity to demonstrate your support in new and meaningful ways. It's in these moments that the bonds of trust and love are strengthened, tested, and ultimately deepened. But here's where many of us stumble in our journey to become more supportive partners. We forget that support isn't just about being there during the storms. It's about dancing in the sunshine too. It's about celebrating your partner's victories, no matter how small they might seem. When was the last time you truly celebrated your partner's achievements? Not just with the quick congratulations, but with genuine enthusiasm and joy. You see, there's a profound difference between acknowledgement and celebration. Acknowledgement is saying that's great. Celebration is stopping everything to fully share in their moment of triumph. This brings us to our sixth principle of becoming a truly supportive partner. Championing your partner's dreams. Dreams aren't just nighttime fantasies. They're the whispers of our souls telling us what we could become. When your partner shares their dreams with you, they're not just sharing goals or ambitions. They're sharing their deepest hopes, their vulnerabilities, their vision of what's possible. How do you respond to these precious moments? Do you immediately point out all the obstacles? Do you try to protect them from disappointment by lowering their expectations, or do you choose to be the voice that says, I believe in you, when they're struggling to believe in themselves? Being supportive means becoming a guardian of your partner's dreams. It means creating an environment where they feel safe enough to dream big, to take risks, to reach for things that might seem impossible to others. Your belief in them can become the wind beneath their wings. But your partner's dreams doesn't mean abandoning your own. True partnership is about finding ways to weave both your dreams together into a tapestry that's more beautiful than either of you could create alone. This leads us to our seventh principle: maintaining healthy boundaries. Boundaries might seem like the opposite of support, but they're actually essential to it. Without boundaries, support can turn into enabling. Without boundaries, care can turn into control. Without boundaries, love can turn into dependence. Think about the oxygen masks on airplanes. There's a reason they tell you to secure your own before helping others. You need to be able to breathe to help someone else breathe. In relationships, boundaries are your oxygen mask. They ensure you have the emotional resources to provide genuine, sustainable support. Healthy boundaries mean being honest about what you can and cannot do. They mean recognizing that sometimes the most supportive thing you can say is no. They mean understanding that you don't have to agree with every decision your partner makes to support them through the consequences of those decisions. The eighth principle of becoming a supportive partner is about creating emotional safety. This goes beyond just being there during difficult times. It's about creating an environment where your partner feels safe to be themselves, completely and authentically. Do you know what true emotional safety looks like in a relationship? It's when your partner can come to you with their messiest emotions, their most irrational fears, their wildest dreams, and know that they won't be judged. It's when they can show you their imperfections without fear of losing your love. Creating emotional safety requires consistency. It's not enough to be supportive sometimes. Your partner needs to know they can count on your support even when you disagree with them, even when you're tired, even when you're dealing with your own challenges. The power of validation. Validation isn't about agreeing with everything your partner says or does. It's about acknowledging their right to feel what they feel, to experience life in their own unique way. When your partner shares their feelings with you, they're not always looking for solutions. Sometimes they just need to know that their feelings make sense to someone else, that they're not crazy for feeling overwhelmed, scared, or uncertain. Your validation can be a balm for their soul. The ninth principle is about growth and adaptation. Your partner will change over time. That's inevitable. Being supportive means growing with them, adapting your support to meet their evolving needs. It means being willing to learn new ways of showing up for them as they journey through different phases of life. This requires a commitment to continuous learning about yourself, about your partner, about the dynamics of your relationship. It means being humble enough to admit when your old ways of providing support aren't working anymore. It means being brave enough to try new approaches. Think about how your partner has changed since you first met them. How have their needs evolved? How has your support evolved to match these changes? If you're still providing support the same way you did years ago, it might be time to reassess and adapt. Remember this, the goal isn't to become a perfect partner. Perfection is an illusion that creates more pressure than progress. The goal is to become more conscious, more intentional in how you show up for your partner each day. It brings us to our 10th principle. You will make mistakes in your journey to become a more supportive partner. There will be times when you miss the mark, when you fail to show up the way your partner needed you to. The key is not to let these moments define your relationship. Learn to forgive yourself for these missteps. Learn to ask for forgiveness when you've fallen short. Learn to repair the small tears in your relationship's fabric before they become irreparable tears. Every mistake is an opportunity to demonstrate your commitment to growth and improvement. It's not just about saying, "I'm sorry." It's about understanding what went wrong, learning from it, and making concrete changes to do better next time. It's about showing your partner that their needs matter enough for you to make real changes. This journey to becoming a more supportive partner isn't a destination. It's a continuous evolution. Each day brings new opportunities to show up differently, to love more deeply, to support more consciously. Each interaction is a chance to strengthen the bonds of trust and understanding that make your relationship. Now let's talk about something that many people overlook when it comes to being a supportive partner: the power of presence. In our hyper-connected world, we've somehow lost touch with what it means to be truly present. We're physically there, but our minds are elsewhere. Our attention divided by endless distractions. True presence is revolutionary in today's world. It's about putting down the phone when your partner is speaking. It's about turning away from the television when they enter the room. It's about making eye contact, about letting your whole being say, "You matter more than anything else in this moment." But presence isn't just about physical attention. It's about emotional availability. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone was looking right at you, but you could tell their mind was a million miles away? That's the difference between being physically present and being emotionally present. Emotional presence means being attuned to the undercurrents of your partner's communication. It means noticing when their smile doesn't quite reach their eyes. It means hearing the hesitation in their voice when they say they're fine. It means being sensitive to the subtle shifts in their energy that signal something deeper is going on. This leads us to another crucial aspect of being a supportive partner: the art of anticipation. Not mind reading, but rather developing a deep understanding of your partner's patterns, needs, and rhythms. It's about knowing what they need before they have to ask for it. Think about the times when someone anticipated your needs. Remember how cared for you felt, how seen, how understood? That's the gift you can give your partner through mindful attention and loving anticipation. But here's where many of us get it wrong. We try to anticipate based on what we would want in a similar situation. Remember, your partner is not you. Their needs, their love language, their way of processing emotions might be completely different from yours. This brings us to the power of observation. Start paying attention to the small details about your partner. What energizes them? What drains them? What makes their eyes light up? What causes them to withdraw? These observations become the foundation of meaningful support. Consider the rhythms of your partner's life. Do they need quiet time after work to decompress? Do they process their day better over a shared meal? Do they face particular challenges at certain times of the month or year? Understanding these patterns allows you to provide support that feels natural and timely, rather than forced or reactive. Let's talk about something that's often misunderstood: the relationship between support and independence. Many people fear that being too supportive might make their partner dependent on them. But true support actually fosters independence. It creates a secure base from which your partner can explore, grow, and develop their own strength. Think about a tree. The stronger its roots, the taller it can grow. Your support is like the root system. It provides stability, nourishment, and strength. But just like a tree needs space to spread its branches, your partner needs space to grow in their own unique direction. This brings us to another vital principle. Supporting growth means embracing change. Your partner will evolve over time. Their dreams might shift. Their priorities might change. Their perspectives might transform. Being truly supportive means helping them navigate these changes while maintaining your own center. Change is not a threat to your relationship. Resistance to change is. When you support your partner's growth, you're investing in the evolution of your relationship. You're creating a dynamic partnership that can adapt and flourish through life's many seasons. Let's address something that many people struggle with: supporting your partner when you disagree with their choices. This is where the rubber meets the road in terms of unconditional support. It's easy to be supportive when you agree with everything your partner is. The real test comes when their choices differ from what you would choose. This doesn't mean you have to abandon your own perspectives or values. It means finding ways to support the person while perhaps disagreeing with the decision. It means saying, while I might choose differently, I respect your right to make this choice, and I'm here for you regardless of the outcome. Think about this every time you support your partner. Through a decision you wouldn't make yourself, you're demonstrating a profound kind of love. You're saying, I trust you to write your own story, even when it's different from the one I would write for you. This brings us to the importance of creating supportive rituals in your relationship. Rituals are the threads that weave connection into the fabric of daily life. They don't have to be elaborate, as sometimes the simplest rituals are the most meaningful. Maybe it's the way you greet each other at the end of the day. Maybe it's a weekly check-in where you both share your victories and challenges. Maybe it's the simple act of holding hands during your morning coffee. These rituals become anchors of support in your relationship, creating moments of connection that both of you can count on. But here's something crucial about rituals. They need to evolve as your relationship evolves. What worked in the early stages of your relationship might need to be adapted as your circumstances change. The key is maintaining the intention of connection while being flexible about the form it takes. Let's talk about the power of words in creating a supportive environment. The way you speak to your partner and about your relationship shapes the reality you live in. Your words can be bridges or barriers, healing balm or subtle. Think about the last time you spoke about your partner to others. Did your words reflect respect, appreciation, and support? Or did you fall into the trap of casual criticism or complaint? The energy you put into the world about your relationship has a way of coming back to you. There's a profound difference between speaking words of support and creating an atmosphere of support. Words are important, but they must be backed by consistent actions, by a steady presence, by unwavering commitment to your partner's well-being. Every interaction with your partner either deposits or withdraws from your relationship's emotional bank account. Small acts of support, moments of genuine presence, words of encouragement, these are all deposits. Criticism, neglect, dismissiveness The goal isn't to never make withdrawals, so that's unrealistic. The goal is to make so many deposits that the occasional withdrawal doesn't threaten the overall health of your relationship. It's about maintaining a positive balance through consistent, mindful acts of support. This brings us to something crucial: the importance of timing in support. Sometimes the right support at the wrong time can feel like no support at all. Learning to read your partner's readiness for different types of support is an art that takes patience and practice. Think about times when you've offered support that wasn't well received. Was it the support itself that was unwelcome, or was it the timing? Was your partner ready to hear solutions, or did they just need to be heard? Were they looking for action, or did they just need acknowledgement? This leads us to another vital aspect of being a supportive partner: holding space for grief and disappointment. Life will inevitably bring moments of loss, failure, and heartbreak. Your ability to stay present and supportive during these times without trying to fix or minimize their pain is crucial. You can't take away your partner's pain, but you can make sure they don't have to carry it alone. Sometimes the most powerful support is simply sitting with them in their darkness, holding their hand until the light returns. Let's talk about something that many people struggle with: supporting your partner through personal transformation. Growth isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's messy and challenging. Your partner might question everything they thought they knew about them. They might make choices that seem risky or unconventional. Your role in these moments isn't to direct their transformation. It's to create a safe space for it to unfold. It's about saying, I might not understand exactly where this journey is taking you, but I believe in your ability to find your... This brings us to the concept of emotional resonance. Have you noticed how your emotional state affects your partner and vice versa? This is because emotions are contagious. Your anxiety can trigger their stress. Your calm can invite their peace. Your confidence can bolster their courage. Understanding this interconnection is crucial to being a supportive partner. It means taking responsibility for your own emotional well-being isn't just self-care, it's relationship care. When you learn to manage your own emotional state effectively, you become a more stable support for your partner. But here's something vital to understand. Being supportive doesn't mean being an emotional sponge. You don't have to absorb your partner's difficult emotions to help them process them. You can be a compassionate witness without taking on their pain as your own. Think about it like this: you can hold space for someone in a storm without getting drenched yourself. You can offer shelter without becoming the storm. This is the art of compassionate detachment, being fully present and supportive while maintaining your own emotional boundaries. Let's address something that often gets overlooked: the role of physical support in relationships. This isn't just about intimacy. It's about the healing power of touch, the comfort of physical presence, the security of a warm embrace. Simple physical gestures can speak volumes when words fall short. A gentle touch on the shoulder during a stressful moment. A long hug after a difficult day. Holding hands during a challenging conversation. These physical connections can anchor your support in tangible ways. But remember, every physical support, like all forms of support, must be attuned to your partner's needs and preferences. Some people find great comfort in physical touch, while others might need more space during difficult times. The key is understanding and respecting your partner's physical boundaries while finding ways to express your support that feel authentic to both of you. This brings us to another crucial aspect of being a supportive partner: celebrating the ordinary moments. Life isn't just made up of big milestones and dramatic events. It's primarily composed of small, everyday moments that might seem insignificant, but actually form the foundation of your shared experience. When you learn to find joy and meaning in these ordinary moments, you create a sustained atmosphere of support that doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's about celebrating the simple act of being together, of sharing life's quiet moments, of building a history of small but significant connections. Consider the power of ritual in creating this sustained support. Morning coffee shared in comfortable silence. Evening walks where you process the day together. Weekend traditions that give structure to your time together. These rituals become touchstones of support, creating reliable spaces for connection and understanding. But here's something crucial about these rituals. They need to be intentional, but not rigid. They should create structure without becoming constraints. The goal is to create reliable spaces for connection while remaining flexible enough to adapt to life's changing demands. This brings us to the importance of humor in a supportive relationship. Laughter is a powerful form of support. It can diffuse tension, provide perspective, and create moments of shared joy, even in difficult times. Learning to laugh together, to find humor in life's challenges without diminishing their importance, is a valuable skill in any relationship. But while we're talking about joy and laughter, let's address something serious: the courage it takes to be truly supportive. Because make no mistake, being a supportive partner requires tremendous courage. It takes courage to remain steady when your partner is struggling. It takes courage to stay present when emotions are running high. It takes courage to keep believing in someone when they've stopped believing in themselves. Think about the most supportive person in your life. What made their support so meaningful? Chances are, it wasn't just what they did, it was how they made you feel. They made you feel seen, heard, understood. So they made you feel like you mattered, like your dreams were valid, like your feelings made sense. That's the kind of support we're talking about creating in our relationships. Support that goes beyond surface-level gestures to touch something deep within our partner's soul. The support that says, I see you, I hear you, I'm with you in both words and actions. This brings us to something profound: the ripple effect of supportive relationships. When you create a truly supportive partnership, you're not just transforming your own relationship. You're creating a model for others to follow. You're showing what's possible in human connections. You're contributing to a more compassionate understanding. Think about the impact your relationship has on the people around you. Your children, if you have them, are learning what partnership looks like through your example. Your friends are seeing what's possible in relationships through your interactions. Your community is being influenced by the energy you and your partner put into the world. This is why becoming a more supportive partner isn't just about improving your relationship. It's about contributing to a larger shift in how humans connect with and support each other. It's about creating ripples of positive change that extend far beyond your immediate circle. Let's talk about legacy. What kind of relationship legacy do you want to leave? What stories do you want people to tell about the way you loved, the way you supported, the way you showed up for your partner? These aren't just philosophical questions. They're practical guides for how we choose to show up each day. Every day, you're writing your relationship story. Every interaction, every choice, every moment of support or lack thereof becomes part of your shared narrative. What story are you writing with your actions right now? This brings us to something vital: the power of commitment in creating sustainable support. True support isn't about grand gestures or occasional moments of showing up. It's about making a daily commitment to your partner's well-being, growth, and happiness. Think about what it means to commit to being a supportive partner. It means choosing to see the best in your partner even when they're not at their best. It means choosing to believe in their potential even when they doubt themselves. It means choosing to stand by them even when the path ahead is unclear. But here's something crucial about commitment. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about getting back up when you fall short. It's about recommitting each day to being the partner your relationship needs you to be. As we draw this journey to a close, I want to leave you with some final thoughts about what it truly means to be a supportive partner. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes. It's not about always knowing exactly what to do or say. Being a supportive partner is about showing up day after day with an open heart and willing spirit. It's about being humble enough to learn from your mistakes. It's about being brave enough to keep trying even when it's difficult. It's about being wise enough to know that every moment is an opportunity to choose love, to choose understanding, to choose support. The quality of your relationship isn't determined by the absence of challenges. It's determined by how you show up for each other during those challenges. It's determined by your willingness to grow to learn, to adapt. It's determined by your commitment to being the most supportive partner you can be. Right now, in this moment, you have the power to transform your relationship through the simple but profound act of choosing to be more supportive. You have the power to create a partnership that nurtures both of your souls, that encourages both of your dreams, that celebrates both of your successes. The journey to becoming a more supportive partner isn't always easy. There will be times when you fall short. There will be times when you question whether you're doing enough. There will be times when the path ahead seems unclear. But remember this, every step you take toward being more supportive, no matter how small it might seem, creates positive change in your relationship. Every moment of genuine presence, every act of understanding, every choice to show up with love and support builds a stronger foundation for your partnership. The world needs more truly supportive partnerships. It needs more relationships where both partners feel seen, heard, and valued. It needs more couples who are committed to growing together, supporting each other, and creating positive change in their corner of the world. You have the power to be part of this change. You have the power to create a relationship that inspires others, that shows what's possible when two people commit to supporting each other's growth and happiness. You have the power to transform your relationship through the conscious choice to be more supportive. Let this be the moment when you commit to becoming the most supportive partner you can be. Let this be the moment when you choose to create a relationship built on understanding, compassion, and unwavering support. Let this be the moment when you begin writing a new chapter in your relationship story, a chapter defined by growth, connection, and profound support. The choice is yours. The time is now. The journey begins with a single step, the step of choosing to be more present, more understanding, more supportive in your relationship. Take that step today and watch as your relationship transforms into something more beautiful than you ever imagined possible.